bless you for listening to me. I'm the last speaker of the last panel of the last day. My name is Susana Ruiz, and I'm a doctoral student in the program which Marcia Kinger in the previous panel mentioned, USC's Media Arts and Practice PhD program. I'll briefly mention that it is an interdivisional program in a school, the School of Cinematic Arts, where there are nothing but strict divisions, the division of screenwriting, of production, animation, critical studies, and so on. And it itself, I think is very interesting. I'm at the program. The program's director, Steve Anderson, along with its entire steering committee, truly does encourage collaboration, and in fact, they expect it. And there's, for me as a student, a confident sense that there will be no stigma attached to the reality, but that I am by no conceivable stretch of the imagination a lone genius. So that's good. And also, Marcia alluded to something else, and that is, there is an angst that we as students experience in the program, because in a sense we're all kind of taking a leap of faith that, and trusting our tenured advisors that they'll figure it out with the university's powers that be, and that our collaborative dissertations will be recognized, and our credentials will be worth something and will fit somewhere. So I kind of wanted to mention that because I think it is an extraordinary example of collaboration in a structure that doesn't really have a legacy for it. Okay. Along with my many collaborators at USC, we developed Darfur is Dying, an online game addressing the humanitarian crisis in Darfur. It was part of my MFA thesis in 2006 in the Interactive Media Division in the School of Cinematic Arts. I worked with a team of students in the development of the game, as well as closely with executives from MTV Networks who sponsored the project, along with their partners, the International Crisis Group and the Reebok Human Rights Foundation. We also worked in a more fluid and informal way with many experts, such as humanitarian aid workers from the International Rescue Committee, genocide academics, documentary filmmakers, activist groups, and of course media and game scholars. As a main component of MTV's broader Sudan public service campaign, the game helped win the Governor's Award from the Academy of Television Arts and Sciences, which is the highest honor that the Academy gives. The project was invited to Capitol Hill, and I had the honor of presenting it to members of Congress that actually care about my opinion of Darfur, of what is going on there. New York Times columnist, as Chip mentioned, Nicholas Kristof, who himself won a Pulitzer Prize for his reporting on Darfur at a time when practically nobody was reporting on Darfur, called it an extraordinary and one of the best presentations of life in Darfur, and has stated that he was inspired by it to the extent that his interest in the potential of games has really grown, and now he himself, along with his wife, is making a game on the issue of women in the developing world. Since its launch in the Save Darfur rally in Washington in April of 2006, it has been played by over 3 million people, and as a direct product of its actual gameplay, it has generated tens of thousands of what we call real-world actions, which includes letters to the President and to members of Congress. And it's important to note that those actions were actually part of the gameplay. If you actually were interested in continuing and advancing your performance within the game world, you had to stop, make a decision. Do you want to send that letter? Now that I've stated some of the ways in which the project did completely surprise us in terms of its reach and reception, in the spirit of a post-mortem, which is a common practice in the game world, to write in hindsight about a completed project and figure out what might be better about it or be improved upon, I'll mention that, that the target audience for the game was quite specifically identified from the very early stages of the brainstorming as the American college student. Furthermore, not so much the student already informed and committed to the issue of Darfur, but rather the student who had, like most of us in late 2005 and early 2006, not seen much mainstream reporting and was pretty much unaware. I pictured the American college student with drive, creativity, energy, who is proactive and empowered. And so while this was our target player, And while we consulted with several individuals who had been on the ground in Darfur and who were experts on the crisis, the fact is that no Darfuri was directly ever involved in the process, with such collaboration did not exist. And so I wanted to pose this to you, this audience today, vigorously considering collaboration as the #1 item on my post-mortem document. Our next project was Finding Zoe, and it is an online game also that addresses gender stereotyping in abusive teen dating relationships. It's geared towards a target audience of youth 8 to 10 in one subgroup and the other one 11 to 14. The game explores the root causes of violence against women and girls, challenges gender stereotypes, instructs on warning signs of violence in a relationship, and introduces community services. It also garnered numerous awards, and most recently actually the Adobe Max Award for social responsibility. The game is a collaboration with the Metropolitan Action Committee on Violence Against Women and Children, and in partnership with the Ontario Government's Women Directorate. Now, the one item on the list in this game's postmortem that I would mention here, because it again relates exactly to collaboration, is the fact that we really wanted to integrate some degree of user-generated content, but we're not able to. At the most feasible level for us, had we been able to accomplish it, was from a perspective of its production, was a way that players could implement their own text into the story to either replace or expand the one single narrative that we provided. We really thought that this would add a lot to the piece, and it would evoke the vibrant online fan fiction communities in which youth are not only vital participants, but in fact acknowledged as expert authors.